Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Marty. Today is going to be more of a somber video. Every once in a while I have the opportunity to visit and explore a place that reviews a darker period of time in our country's history. Today's video brings us to a rural field in southern Pennsylvania. 40 years ago, 40 passengers boarded United Flight 93 from Newark, New Jersey, en route to San Francisco, California. Unfortunately, those passengers never reached their final destination. Those passengers took it among themselves to act in the most heroic form humans could muster the courage to pull together. Today, we are going to remember and honor them. Today, we will visit their final resting place. We will learn about them. We will remember their teachings, and we will pass it on for generations to come. Welcome to the Flight 93 National Memorial. As passenger Todd Beamer said right before they took over the cockpit and saved so many others from destruction. Let's roll.
93 checking in 350, United 93 350. Yes, I did 797, and we couldn't tell what it was either. Okay. United 93 Cleveland, if you hear the sound right then. Climbing, so I want to keep everybody away from them. Okay, I think we got them in sight. Over 1989, no traffic views, 11 o'clock and 15 miles southbound, 41 miles. Here's the captain, take the road to the main ship, overboard, and going to back to the airport, and we have over the man. United 93, here Cleveland Center. Okay, American 1060 and correction 956, we just lost the target on that aircraft. We're looking now, sir. United 93, Cleveland, do you still hear the center? United 93, do you still hear Cleveland? United 93, United 903, do you hear Cleveland? There appears to be just a dark cloud like a puff.
The start of our tour brings us here to the visitor center. There is a large parking lot. Everything is free. They don't charge for parking. This is a part of the National Park Service, so everything is free. You don't have to pay to get in here. Of course, it is a national memorial. There are restrooms right in the front of the visitor center, and then you start to walk the granite pathway. Now, as you walk this pathway, this is designed to show you the route that the flight was taking. Here you can see at 8:46 and 30 seconds a.m. One World Trade Center, American Airlines and Flight 11 was struck. 9:03 and 2 seconds a.m. Number 2 World Trade Center, United Airlines Flight 75 was struck. At 9:37 and 46 seconds a.m., Pentagon American Airlines Flight 77 was struck. This is actually the path that Flight 93 took as it made its curve into the field down below, which we will get up close and personal to see in just a little bit. Inside the visitor center, you're going to have a gift shop, and all of the artifacts from the crash site. It's going to go in chronological order from the time before the flight, history of the town. Only 246 people live in this town. Just a normal day. There is no photography, video, or photographic allowed of any of the artifacts in there. A lot of the items are copyrighted and don't actually belong to this national memorial, so there's no photography involved allowed inside. So I'm going to respect that, but I will input some footage from the National Park Service so you can see some of those items. One of the most I guess sentimental artifacts in there is nothing you can touch. It's actually the voices of 3 passengers, 2 of which were passengers and 1 was a flight attendant, where you can hear their final message to their loved one. It's very powerful. It almost sounds like they're leaving a message for you. Well, take a listen.
You can listen to 3 recorded calls made from the aircraft that day. Please be advised that these brief recordings include content of a sensitive nature. Parental guidance is recommended for younger visitors. Passenger Lauren Grant-Colas phoned her husband Jack at 9:39 a.m., about 11 minutes after the hijacking began, leaving this message on their home answering machine.
Honey, are you there? Jack, pick up, sweetie. Okay, well, I just wanted to tell you I love you. We're having a little problem on the plane. I'm totally fine. I just love you more than anything. Just know that. And, I'm comfortable and I'm okay for now. Just a little problem, so I just love you. Please tell my family I love them too. Bye, honey.
Passenger Linda Grundlund phoned her sister Elsa at 9:46 a.m., about 18 minutes into the hijacking, leaving this message on her home answering machine.
Elsa, it's Lynn. I only have a minute. I'm on United 93, and it's been hijacked by terrorists who say they have a bomb. Apparently they have flown a couple of planes into the World Trade Center already, and it looks like they're going to take this one down as well. Mostly, I just wanted to say I love you, and I'm going to miss you. and please give my love to my dad. And mostly, I just love you, and I just wanted to tell you that. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to tell you that again or not. All my stuff is in the safe. The safe is in my closet in my bedroom. The combination is you push C for clear and then 0913, and then it should, and maybe pound, and then it should unlock. I love you, and I hope I can talk to you soon. Bye.
Flight attendant Cece Lyles phoned her husband Lorne at 9:47 a.m., about 19 minutes into the hijacking, leaving this message on their answering machine.
Hi, baby. Baby, you have to listen to me carefully. I'm on a plane that's been hijacked. I'm on the plane. I'm calling from the plane. I want to tell you I love you. Please tell my children that I love them very much. And I'm so sorry, babe. I don't know what to say to There's 3 guys, they've hijacked the plane. I'm trying to be calm. We're turned around, and I've heard that there's planes that's been flown into the World Trade Center. I hope to be able to see your face again, baby. I love you. Bye.
The crash site itself is actually right behind me, and we're going to take a walk down there. You can drive it, you can walk it, it's all accessible. There was not a lot left over. The plane crashed into the ground at over 545 miles per hour, inverted. So you can imagine the force of that impact and what it does to human tissue. Basically, everyone was instantly incinerated. So for that, I don't think there was any pain that anyone felt. It was just instantaneous. All 3 of the flights had very low capacity. This was a large airplane, large fuel tank, but only 40 passengers on board. The terrorists knew more passengers, more problem. Tuesday mornings, flights tended to be less crowded. They specifically picked flights that had a very low capacity. So only 40 individuals on board this flight, and not including the terrorists, because you will not find them in any of the numbers, the statistics. You will not see their names. We're not recognizing anything about them because they don't deserve it. Terrorism doesn't deserve any notoriety. This is the 3rd location of the 9/11 memorials that I have visited. I visited the Ground Zero a few years back, stood into those pits of water where once stood our towers. I visited the Pentagon, and now finally the 93 memorial. It's not near anything. It took me about 2.5 hours to get here from where I'm staying, and I can tell you it is worth the drive. It is quite a busy day here at the memorial. Today is September 13th, so just 2 days after the 24th anniversary, September 11th, 2001. So there are a lot of people here today. There are certain events that take place on the grounds. Here at the flagpole, they have a tour that actually started 13 minutes ago. It's a 1-hour hike, and they take you through the entire investigative scene, free of charge. And then at 2 o'clock, there is a 30-minute ranger talk down at the Memorial Plaza, where they will talk about the specifics of what happened there. I was going to drive down to the Memorial Plaza, but how can I give you the actual tour if I don't actually do it myself? So the Western Overlook is 0.3 miles away, and the Memorial Plaza is 0.7 miles. And let's go down and take the hike ourselves. I could use the exercise anyways. Here you can see between these 2 concrete columns was the flight trajectory, where it came through here on the curve and went straight out to where we are going right now, to the actual crash site. And I gotta tell you, to stand here right in front of this, knowing that the nose of the aircraft coming straight towards me on that Tuesday morning, it's a feeling that I can't really describe unless you're standing right here. This is the first view overlook, where you can get a little of an elevated view point of perspective of where the actual Memorial Gardens is, where the flight actually crashed down. There's some stone benches here for you to sit, relax, rest, and I think mostly to reflect. So we've reached the actual site we can call ground zero here at Flight 93. Behind me we have two large bells, and just 2 days ago these bells were rung 40 times, one for each of the individuals that perished. That was just 2 days ago that they did this. So pretty powerful. Behind me we have all of the names inscribed on to the marble of the passengers and crew that perished in the flight leading up to the gate where we cannot go past. That leads to the actual crash site itself. The only ones that can actually go to the actual boulder that marks the impact point is direct family members of those who perished. So as I take you down this path, read the names, say them out loud, say a prayer for them, honor their sacrifice. So from this vantage point, you can really get the full picture and impact, quite literally, from where the flight came through right here and went straight into that field where that boulder is right there. And even if you look at the trees, okay, the plane touched down right where that boulder was at with such force that all of the debris and the fuel created a huge void in these trees. And 24 years later, notice these trees still haven't grown back to the same height of the surrounding trees. But do notice that they are growing back. Something that I would like to think that our country is doing, but this has been a dark week in our country. So I wonder, have we really learned anything? What are we going to do moving forward to stop horrible evil from trying to destroy us? As we take a closer look at this boulder, it is placed near the base of the Hemlock Groves. It is a 17-ton piece of sandstone. It's the visual reference for the Flight 93 crash site, and it was relocated from the south of the Tower of Voices, which we will check out. The large beams here were assembled from hemlock, the ceremonial gate that features 40 cut angles beyond the gate. The final piece of granite acknowledges when Flight 93 crashed. Here they explain that it's a closer look of the wall of names that distinguishes each passenger and crew. The wall was formed from 40 individual marble panels engraved with their first and last names. And the wall of names appears unified from a distance. Symbolism represents the passengers and crew members coming together on September 11th, 2001. Because of these brave 40 passengers that all voted to sacrifice their lives, they saved thousands of more lives. This plane was destined to the US Capitol, and that never happened because they fought back. This is their final resting place. No bodies were recovered. And that's another reason why only family members can go to the actual crash site. I think that's very fitting. I can't tell you what it feels like to be here in person. Once you reach the end of the path, there is a large sitting area here where again you can sit, reflect, and this area right here is where they have the wreath laying ceremonies. There is also a covered area shelter. You can imagine here in South Pennsylvania, the weather can be a little extreme. Today it's pretty warm, so you can utilize this area to have some shade. And of course in the winter, if there's rain or there's snow, you can utilize this area as well. Speaking of weather, if you are going to do the walk, it's not hard. I would reconsider your choice of shoes. Probably flip-flops is not the best thing if you're going to be walking in the dirt. Hat, sunglasses, maybe some sunscreen on a day like today, and of course in the wintertime you'll definitely want to bundle up as the wind chill here would get cold. I think I'm going to sit here and reflect for a moment. I invite you to do the same. Now, most people go and hike back the same way they came, but you don't have to. At the Plaza Memorial, there's another parking lot down on this side as well. You can drive down it. Know that if you do drive down, you don't get to see all of the individual spots along the way where they explain some things to you on the hike. And again, you don't have to go back the same way. It is going to be uphill both ways, but going in a complete circle, you can go across this beautiful bridge that goes across the creek, and it follows the regular road back up to the main visitor center. So let's walk it and take that track right now. Alright, so we made it and did the entire loop, complete circle. I'd say it's about 2 miles, and I am quite out of breath. One thing I will take note of, once you leave the visitor center, there is no chances to refill your water. So make sure you have enough water if you're going to do the hike. If you go all the way around, it leads you right back to the parking lot. As you can see, this is a very popular spot for motorcyclists. It's a beautiful ride here, so it does attract a lot of motorcycles. I would love to bring my motorcycle up here someday, but being that I'm in California and this is in Pennsylvania, I don't see that happening for a little while. But don't go anywhere because we're not done yet, as I'm looking for my rental car, and I just found it. We have one more spot on our places to see at the 93 National Memorial, and that is the Tower of Voices. For that, I am going to drive to, because that's too far to walk. Behind me is our final stop here at the National Memorial, and this is the Tower of Voices. There is no other wind chime tower like this anywhere in the world. It stands 93 feet tall for Flight 93, and there are 40 large tubular aluminum wind chimes inside the tower, representing the 40 people that sacrificed their lives. When the wind flows through them, it creates a harmonious musical sound representing the vote that they unanimously took to take the plane down and stop from further acts of terror. So let's head on up there and take a closer look. And if we listen real carefully with our hearts, we may just be able to hear the voices of unity of those 40 individuals that sacrificed themselves to stop terror. That's going to do it from the Flight 93 National Memorial here in Pennsylvania. I hope you got something out of this. I know I did. If you go to the National Park Service website, they'll tell you you can do this all in about 90 minutes to 2 hours. I spent 4 hours here. I really took my time and took in everything there was to see, to hear, and to feel. If you are anywhere within this region of southern Pennsylvania, I highly encourage you to come down to the National Memorial, learn, pay respects. Specifically to my younger viewers, a lot of you weren't even born yet in 2001. These things, these evils, these acts of terror, they can happen again. And they will if we don't have the courage to stand up for what is right, like the 40 passengers and crew did on United Flight 93. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the future uploads. If you like videos like this, check out the National Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C. I will put a link to it right up here. And now it's time for me to drive 2.5 hours back to my hotel, which I have to tell you is definitely worth it to see something like this. Go to the Pentagon Memorial Site, go to Ground Zero, learn. Remember, without the bravery of people like this, we wouldn't have a country. So always remember to take care of yourselves and, of course, each other. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.